Hey, I appreciate you watching Mondays with Mike. I want to read a passage of scripture out of Mark 14, verses 22 and following. After Jesus had fed 5,000 men, plus the women and children, immediately he made the disciples get into a boat and go before him to the other side of the Sea of Galilee, while he went back and dismissed the crowd. And when he dismissed the crowd, he didn't go get his guys, but he went up on a mountain to pray by himself. And when evening came, he was there alone. So he put them in the boat in the evening, and then he left them out to sea, and he went and prayed. And when the evening came, he was there alone, but by this time the boat was a long way from land, beaten by the waves. John says it was about 3 to 4 miles offshore. So it was over 3 miles offshore, beaten by the waves, for the wind was against them. They were trying to go right into the wind. If you've ever been out in any kind of water and been going contrary to the wind under manpower, it's quite difficult. And in the fourth watch of the night, after 3 a.m., sometime between 3 and 6 a.m., he came to them walking on the sea, and one of the disciples saw him, and they were like, wow. When the disciples saw him, they thought it was a ghost, like nobody can be doing that, and they were afraid. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, take heart, it is I, do not be afraid. And Peter answered him, said, Lord, if it's you, command me to come to you on the water. And Jesus simply said, come. So Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and he began to sink, and he cried out a real simple prayer, Lord, save me. Jesus immediately reached out his hand, took hold of him, saying, oh, you have little faith, why did you doubt? And when they had got back in the boat, the wind ceased, and all those in the boat worshiped him, saying, truly you are the Son of God. They were in the boat, in a storm, by Jesus' design. He put them there. He knew he was going to go pray and that they were going to be stuck in this storm. And the storm was actually designed by God, and they were placed in the storm so that Jesus could reveal himself to them in a way no man has ever seen. Only 2 men ever have walked on water, Jesus and Peter. Peter got out of the boat. The rest of the guys were dumbfounded. They didn't get out of the boat. They were still in there terrified. Peter walked on water. And then he started looking around at the very storm that had given him the opportunity to walk on water, to demonstrate great faith in Jesus. And he took his eyes off Jesus, you know the deal, and he began to sink. And he put his eyes back on Jesus and said, save me. And Jesus did. They got in the boat, and the storm stopped. We've been having storms, thunderstorms, all that, all around here all summer, like you have probably. And it just reminded me of this story about how storms are intentional. From God, they're intentional. And they're designed to teach us at a deeper level who God really is. He's either correcting us from some issue in our life, or he's protecting us from a bad thing, or he's perfecting us, or he's just advancing his cause. It's got nothing to do with us. He's just putting us in a storm to advance his cause. So I don't know where you are, but this summer, step out of the boat, look right at Jesus in the midst of the storm, and step out of the boat and say, I have faith in you. And as you do, never forget, ever forget, you're greatly loved. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you next week.